Okay, I would like to call to order, excuse me, the meeting of April 9th for the meeting of the zoning board of appeals. I would like to introduce the board by name. On my left is Steve Fishkoff, who is a regular member. My name is Bill Pickett. I'm the vice chair, acting as chair tonight. On my right is a regular member, Dennis Crow. And we have an alternate, Dylan Stella, and he will be on the regular board tonight. Excuse me. 4 votes are needed for an application to be approved. And this is in accordance with state statutes. A simple majority is not sufficient. All actions will be taken by roll call. The town planner will read the legal notice as advertised in the source. After the applications have been read, anyone who wishes to withdraw or postpone his or her application is free to do so. If there is no one who wishes to withdraw or postpone, we will then go forward with the applications in the order in which they appear on the agenda. For each application, the applicant or his or her representative will be promoted to a panelist. They will then state his or her name and address for the record and the nature and the reason for the appeal. The applicant may screen share all application materials or request assistance from staff. Any and all items, plans, or picture shown to the board are considered exhibits, and all exhibits must be provided in PDF or paper copy to the town staff. After the after the presentation is made by the applicant, we will entertain questions from members of the board and then entertain questions from the audience. Attendees will raise their hand and wait to be called upon. After questions, those speaking in favor of the application may raise their hand and be heard. Then those in opposition may raise their hand and be heard. Be sure to state your name and address before you speak. Following any comments by the board or public, the applicant will have an opportunity for closing comments. The public hearing portion of the application can be closed and the board can deliberate. Upon closing of the public hearing, no new correspondence or comments can be received by the board. In most instances, we will make our decision immediately after each hearing. You may stay to hear the results or call the land use office in the morning. You will be notified by mail, and all decisions are published. I would like to call upon Marie to read the first application.
First, we're going to do the election of officers quickly.
Oh, we are, so we're not going to do that until the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you do that now and then I'll read
All
the
right.
legal.
So I would like to make a motion, I guess, for the elections of the officers. Chair will be Richard Gilbert, and vice chair will be me, William Piggott. Do I have a motion?
I'll move, but I want discussion afterwards. I'll move, make the motion.
Second?
Okay, so
Okay,
question, point of order. I don't know the answer to this. We only have 3 regular members here. Are we able to make that election?
Yes.
Including one of the people who's not.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
We are able to do.
yes. The only reason why we're redoing it is because it didn't get officially in the minutes last month. So,
Okay.
because it was a discussion and nobody, or somebody
Yeah.
just wanted to put it.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering about the numbers.
Yeah,
Yep,
good.
you're fine.
Great.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay.
Okay.
We have new
No,
elections.
yeah. Now I can read
Oh, yes.
the legal. Legal notice, Madison Zoning Board of Appeals, Madison, Connecticut. Notice is hereby given that the board will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, April 9th at 7 PM. The meeting will be conducted as a hybrid meeting in Meeting Room A, Town Campus, 8 Campus Drive, and remotely online as a Zoom webinar. Application 2403, 128 Island Avenue, map 16, lot 133, zone R4. Owner applicant, the Madison Beach Club, Inc. Variance request to section 3.6 to allow 3.5 feet setback from property line where 30 feet is required for AC condensers. Application includes a coastal site plan. Application number 24-04, 67 Dudley Lane, AKA 6 First Street, map 31, lot 48, R2 zone. Owner applicant Frank Maroli and Deborah Hawthorne. Variance request to section 12.6, expand a non-conforming structure. Application includes a coastal site plan review. Application 25-5, 31 Parker Avenue, map 15, lot 51, zone R5. Owner applicant Ilona B. Marsh, trustee. Variance request to section 3.6D to allow 9.2 feet west and 9.6 feet east, where 9.2 feet west and 9.6 feet east exist, and 12 feet are required to reconstruct a smaller FEMA-compliant house on existing footprint, and section 2.17 to allow a critical coastal resource setback of 20.70 feet where 20.70 feet exists and 50 feet is required. Application includes a coastal site plan. Application 24-6, 27 Fort Path Road, map 37, lot 29, zone R1. Owner applicant Richard and Isabel Hahn. Variance request section 3.6D to allow 26 feet west where 30 feet is required for propane tanks, and section 3.6D to allow 22 feet east where 30 feet is required for a generator. Application includes a coastal site plan. Further details, including application materials, are posted on the town website, www.madisonct.org, under the calendar link to meetings. Questions and/or comments can be emailed to land use office at landuse@madisonct.org up to 24 hours in advance of the meeting. This dated this 20th day of March, 2024, Richard Gilbert, Chair. This was published twice in the Source on March 28th and once on March 4th. First application.
Okay, we will proceed with the first application, 2403, 128 Island Avenue. And do we have a presentation by the applicant?
We do. Good evening, and thank you. I'm Michael Salzbach. I live at 85 Fair Street in Guilford for the record. I'm here for the applicant, the Madison Beach Club, Inc. With me tonight are Dave Allen, who is the president, Gary Leonard, who's our architect, and somewhere in the Ethernet, we may see Chuck Mandel,
Yes, I moved them over.
who's the civil engineer who prepared the CAM application. If it's okay, I would like to sit down because then we're at eye level and I'm not looking from an odd angle. Thank you. But if it's a problem for anyone, that's fine. This is one of our less complicated applications. It is for the purpose of removing 4, I think, altogether, air conditioning condensers on the east side of the beach club along Island Avenue, sort of almost at the Sound, and then moving north a little bit. It's in the area that is used by the club as men's room and ladies' room predominantly, and the bar if we have enough money to finish this project. It's a building that was built after the Hurricane of 38, and it's been here ever since. It's non-conforming here in particular, and probably on both sides. But it's done well, except it's hot. And we've managed that with window unit air conditioners, which are in fact larger than what we're putting in, noisy, and inefficient, sadly. And that's what brings us here. Because the window units, which stick out about as far, if not more, technically don't require legal setback like we're doing. But the same thing we're putting in does. And that's, again, why we're here. Beyond that, that's it. That's the whole application. And it may help if you see, Maria, can you put up
Yeah, I'm getting there.
yeah, sort of one of the exciting views from Island Avenue of the current units. While we're waiting, I can read into the record, because you don't need a lot to envision this. And these are in the packet. The first is a letter from Steve and Molly Cornell, who live across the street, almost on the corner. So they have a Middle Beach Road address, but they look at these condensers in that part of the club. And they write, "Dear Commissioners, we live at 5 Middle Beach Road, which is directly across the street from the Madison Beach Club, and the air conditioning condensers, which are the subject of the Beach Club's variance application, appearing as the first item on the agenda for April 9th. We urge the board to approve this application. It will result in a more pleasing view," because these units almost disappear, a more pleasing view and a substantial reduction in what little sound has been coming from the existing removable units. Thank you for your attention to this. Stephen and Molly Cornell, 5 Middle Beach Road, Madison, Connecticut. The second letter is from Jeff and Leslie Thornberry, who live next door. They're the next house to the north on Island Avenue, again, facing the Beach Club. And they write, "Dear Commissioners, we live at 127 Island Avenue, which is directly across the street from the Madison Beach Club and the air conditioning condensers, which are the subject of this Beach Club application. That application is the first item on the agenda of April 9th, as if you didn't know. And Leslie and I hope that the board will approve this application, which in our opinion would result in a dramatic improvement over the existing noisy, leaking, removable air conditioning units." And there you see them, if they're in. Yeah, they are. Yeah,
Showing.
they're not terribly efficient either, but that's the state of the art at the moment.
That's the
And
existing one, right?
that's the existing, yeah. And then if we could switch to, the locations where these are wall mounted, you see them all over, condensers. And probably stick out a little less than the temporary ones, or the supposedly removable ones. And that's their location and size. And the reason they're shown in that vibrant colors so you can see where they are, because in the end, they're going to be painted to match the Beach Club, and you won't know they're there. And that's really, yeah, I'm sorry.
Let me ask a question at this point. I didn't understand exactly what that meant. That's not a 3D print, so I can't tell where that really is. I mean, I see, looks like something's mounted on a fence.
No,
Yeah,
that's just the location. It's behind the fence.
They're
It's behind the fence.
They're all mounted against the wall.
Yeah.
Every-
Mounted against the wall.
yeah.
Okay.
And we have cuts of that we could show.
And over there on the right, one's above the other.
One,
Yeah.
right, underneath an existing fire escape that's already there. So
They're set way back.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
that was just because there's another picture which you
Yeah.
can't tell where they are. This just shows it in plan and gives dimensions for locations.
Well, and the real goal was if we show them as we intend them to be, you wouldn't see them. So think of it as for demonstration purposes.
There's a cut of the.
That's what the unit looks like. Looks bigger in the cut than, yeah.
Yeah, that's a.
So you're gonna have two on the ground, pretty much ground level, then one raised.
Yeah, we'll raise them up off the ground some. And we will make them removable so that should there be a hurricane warning, we can get them out of there to prevent damage.
It's a theoretical question, because you have 2.4 acres, right? This is one of the only places where it's,
There's a limitation on the distance they could be from the heads in the building. It's about, I'm gonna pull a number out of the air, because I should know, but I think it's like 90 feet is the maximum. But given this is about the only place where you have the roof, which we've looked at alternatives, putting them on the roof. They become much more visible when you put them up in those
there's no way to
locations.
put all three below the fence line.
We would prefer not to, because it will limit the number that have to come out should there be a hurricane.
Might add, we are in addition, number one, we've got a very critical membership. And so anything that ends up being even remotely unsightly, we'll hear about. And there may be torches and placards for all.
I see the president smiling back.
Yeah, yeah, he's the one that gets
The
the
phone's ringing already.
The other thing about the situation of the beach club here is that it is in a residential zone and it's thereby not initially as a non-conforming use because of how old it is. And it's also now a special exception as a club, which means that we ultimately have to have planning and zoning permission to do this, your permission, ACA's permission. We visited with the ACA guys, and this is where, in the end, they thought would be the most pleasing and appropriate location for these.
Maria, I think in there's also another cut sheet for a cover to put over the top of these units to make them even less objectionable. So we would intend to do this, at least on the one that's visible underneath the fire escape.
So in addition, of course, to all the people I've mentioned that we've had to go before, there is the matter of the so we've in fact submitted the coastal site plan that Chuck Mandel and his shop prepared. And that has come back with a comment that there's no adverse effect. It's a little hard to see how it could, but it doesn't. So that as far as we can tell, we've covered our bases here. We have conferred and frankly had the assistance of the staff, which is invaluable. And I believe that there is no staff issue with what it is we are proposing to do. And that is our presentation, unless you've got other questions.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah, let me
Bring
just
up the
say,
application.
now we're gonna go to the stage where we'll ask questions. So go ahead.
Well, what I was gonna ask is that at the presentation, we go through the application itself.
We
Just
can
wanna step
do
through there.
the app itself,
If Maria can bring it up on the screen. that'd be great.
because the legal notice essentially says it all.
Yeah, so.
There we are.
That's okay.
On the agent.
So. See, relief. 3 feet to about 3.5 feet. Okay. Then the hardship, all those other items are C attached. So let's take a look at the attached there real quick. So basically says that building can't be moved. Locating farther from the property line is impossible. Condensers replacing window mounted units. Project was presented to ACA, which concurred with the project siting. And we are too far quieter. So I think that pretty much says what you've vocalized. So that's good. And this is nothing
The zoning table.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Nothing.
Okay.
And the other thing about us, in addition to having to confer with all of these agencies that we've mentioned, we also have a lot of neighbors. And so the cost of mailing these notices was something we noticed, as a matter of fact. But we did that, and we've supplied the certificates of mailing to the staff. And I think we've covered our base.
Are there any other questions by the board?
Actually, so like lengthwise and area wise, how do the new units like compare to the I'm older, I mean, that's like, I think you mentioned in the application that it's less obtrusive, is that correct? So like, is it like smaller, like area wise?
Well, we have at least 3 window units, 4 if we put one on the bar, which we do sometimes. All of those project at least a foot to 18 inches from the window. And they're about 30 inches, 32 inches wide. So we're going to 3 units, which are in the neighborhood of a foot by about 30 inches. So it's equivalent in size, pretty much to what's there now.
Okay.
And they're going to be stacked, so the coverage certainly is not increased. 2 of them will be stacked.
So first thing that came to my mind when I read this was 3.5 feet from the road seems
It's
close to traffic type issue. But
It's actually further from the road. Sorry to interrupt.
well, that's all right. I was just going to say, you've got a fence there anyhow.
We're gonna extend the fence a little bit so that it wraps around the fire escape. But it's well inside the fence. It's,
Yeah.
the building is practically on the lot line, but the lot line is, a ways back is typically with the road right of ways from the edge of the road itself. And the site plan actually shows that.
Any other questions by the board? Okay, any public comments from anyone wishing to speak in favor of the application?
I'm in favor. These are ductless heating
Who are
and
you?
cooling systems.
Please state your name and address, please.
I'm Frank Merlo. I live in Clinton. I had these put in my house. I have a Lennox system, and it dropped my heating bills down from sometimes from $1,000 in December to I haven't hit over $400 since I've got these put in. They're really efficient. They've made my whole house much more evenly heated, and I also have air conditioning, which I never had.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm all for these things. They're great. They're really great.
Any other comments to speak in favor? Okay,
They're very good.
any comments from the public wishing to speak opposing the application? Are there any further questions by the board? Would anybody like to introduce any correspondence into the record by name and date? I think you read that already.
I did. I can
Okay.
provide copies if you would like,
Sorry.
but they're in your file.
You're in the phone.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, any final comments from the applicant?
If we can't talk to anybody else.
Yeah. Okay, I need a motion to close the public portion of the hearing to deliberate the application.
So moved.
Second. Okay. All right, so we have to deliberate here. So who would like to speak first?
I do. I personally don't see the problem with this. It's, you know, like, as I said earlier, my first concern was traffic safety, but I think it's already a fence there. Nobody's hitting that, you know, and it's back far enough that I think that, you know, it's almost like somebody's hitting that, they're hitting the house, the building, you know. It is a hardship. There's nowhere else really to put it. And it's a very minor variance that I don't have a problem.
I agree with Dennis. I can't add anything more to it.
I do agree. It's a relatively unobtrusive. I mean, you could even argue it might be a reduction of non-conformity just because of like maybe like a marginal size difference, but I mean really it's basically like the same thing as the previous units. So yeah, I have to be in favor. It's pretty straightforward.
You're the last one.
No. No, I don't see any issue, but if you could have moved it 300 feet around the back side, I would have said, hey, maybe why don't you move it there, but given the limitations for where you can actually put them, I don't see any issue.
Okay. We've all spoken. Do I have a motion to close the deliberation and request a motion to vote?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second, okay. Who would like to make a motion and state the reasons for approval or disapproval?
Okay, I will. So I move that we approve application 24.03, 128 Island Avenue, with Madison Beach Club request a variance to section 3.6 to allow 3.5 foot setback from the property line, 30 foot is required. Aircraft. I was in that industry for a long time. You see these air conditioning condensers. And the reason being that there's no sufficient other place to put this, and it's a very minor variance will enhance the usage of the club without an impact on the community, and it's approved by ACA.
We have to also,
You want to state?
In addition,
Wait, did you want to?
all construction, however, all construction must be in compliance to the plan submitted and upon acceptance of conditions approved from planning and zoning. We're not doing the CSP in the same motion.
Okay. All those in favor?
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Oh, I'm sorry, second. All those in favor of approving the variance?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the ayes have it, and congratulations. Oh,
That goes to site plan.
yeah, okay. Additionally, the board finds that the coastal site plan application is consistent with the goals and policies.
We'd have to vote on it. You'd have to make a motion.
Oh, that's right, gotta make a motion on that.
Did you want to review it at all?
Yeah, I do want to
I'm
see.
sorry.
it. Can you bring it up on the screen? Got the same location. That's good.
Chuck, want to speak at all?
Okay, all of that.
If you want to hear from.
No, I think Chuck Bandel, agent for the applicant. We did get the deep report, and there was no adverse impacts to coastal resources, and we are reducing the actually impervious surfaces as discussed. Thank you.
Do I have a motion to approve the coastal site plan?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Now, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you again for your time.
That's a record.
Yeah, that was our goal.
Much appreciated.
Okay,
Maria, so you could get her application. What are we hearing next?
okay, we'll move on to the second application on 2404-67 Dudley Lane, AKA 6 First Street. So who will be making the presentation?
Okay.
State your name and.
Deb, if you could just come up and stand over here, because the microphone for this is over here, it'll pick up better. Oops. There we go.
Here, good.
Yeah. all right.
There's a cottage,
Your name, state your name.
Hawthorne.
Okay.
25 Valley Road, Reason.
Oh, my address is
Yeah.
25 Valley Road in Clinton, Connecticut.
The cottage on Dudley Lane, on First Street in Young's Village, needs total repair, so we're looking to replace that structure. It's actually going to be smaller than what's there to accommodate the back line. It sits on the border, and we're gonna pull it back by shrinking. Really, the variance was just for bringing the cottage ridge line to center to get rid of the shed, because it makes, the shed roof part makes the property walls too small for proper windows and doors. So we're only looking to make it closer to code as far as the height. And we're removing a shed that's there, it's not going back, just, I think that's what we're looking for. Just to, so the cottage is only gonna be raised about 2 feet, and it's substantially lower than our neighbors. That's all we're looking for.
Okay. Would you want to go through the application?
Yep.
Yeah.
You want to read the, look at the application, the site plan, the plans, which one?
You know, I think probably good to go through all three.
Okay.
So
Let's start with the application.
preferably the application first. Okay, demo existing non-conforming and rebuild.
It's actually on a smaller footprint, isn't it?
It will be, yeah, to accommodate.
I think right now it's right on that property line. right?
It's on
We're gonna
the,
come
well,
back.
I think, I don't know, it might
It's a
be.
1.5 feet off right
Yeah,
now.
but
so-
we're gonna decrease it, so it's less.
So right here, the variance requested. Back up. Okay, this is non-conforming structure. It's not clear here what that means.
The cottage.
Section 2.6 is the non-conforming.
Right, but it's an entire list of, 12, 6, 1, 2, 3, and so on, right?
Right.
So, or is it ABC? I don't know. But anyhow, got a list of things. So what explicitly is the variance here? Just,
Was just to change the ridge line to get rid of the shed, because the shed comes too low to put in proper doors and windows. That's really all it is. And then we're shrinking, we ended up shrinking the back line just to accommodate the neighbor's request to get it off. So we're just shrinking it, a foot or two.
okay,
So is it going to be, it's going to be not exactly in the same footprint, it's going to be a little less?
Less.
All right, because on the application, it said,
It's quite smaller, but
yeah, it's a little bit smaller.
which is better.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, it's a reduction. And it says here, you're going to also put it up on piers, right?
Yeah, I think that's a requirement now.
Yeah, Okay,
So that's, yeah, that's why it's better.
Okay, but I guess the 12.6.
Hold on, I have to stop sharing so I can
The
get
whole
to the
building
reg,
is non-conforming. I guess that's why you would list the entire section.
let me get the regulation up, but I have to stop sharing to do
Yeah.
so,
yeah,
so
because
otherwise
it's
you're busy.
pre-existing
Yeah,
when they built this place, and
Yeah.
there were no zoning laws.
and the whole
Yeah,
division is one property, and how do you define how much of that they own? You know, it's.
Well, we did get a
the
survey.
site survey.
Yeah.
Yeah, nonetheless, the zoning is written for a lot.
So 12, section 12 is non-conforming uses.
Yeah.
Section 12.6 is a specific section in section 12. It's a subsection. No building which does not conform to the requirements of the regulations regarding building height limit, area width, lot coverage, percentage of lot coverage, required yards and parking facilities shall be enlarged unless such enlarged portion conforms to the regulations applying in the district which is located. So the building,
So
we
that's
all
all
know
this
that
is.
that's the section is 12.6.
Okay.
The section is 12. She's
So I missed-
asking
I-
for
I confused
12.6.
12.6, okay.
Yes.
So, and technically speaking, you're not enlarging, but you are raising the height. Minimum.
Yeah, we're bringing it up to the, yeah. Couple,
Mostly due to, is that
Still in zone.
FEMA requirement? The-
way, yeah, we're way below.
Building code, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so it's gonna meet building code. Yeah. To meet building code, it has to be. Yeah. Okay, so,
I also noticed, here is that you're demolishing the shed,
I'm taking that out.
so you're taking that out. So I guess you could say, as it states here, you're reducing the non-conformity.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
okay,
Any other questions by the board?
well,
Oh,
we gotta see the other,
okay,
the other
I'm
side.
sorry.
I think this part's clear, yeah.
Oh, that's it. This is the signature.
That's signatures, yeah. Okay. On this one, I had questions about the benchmark. It says there's a nail in a utility pole, but it's your benchmark. Maria, you probably see that all the time. It just sounds really,
Because there's not much to go by with Doug's because, you know, it's one large piece of property and they really don't have their own property lines, so.
it's kind of funny though, a utility pole could be moved. Then what? So, okay. So there's no change in setbacks or anything else. Clarify for me a bit about, you're gonna be building smaller as opposed to building on the same footprint.
98% will be on the footprint. We're just not building on that back. Taking. We could, but
I'm not-
I think
I'm
it
not- I'm not
would be adverse for the neighbors.
You're not building in the back, what?
The back line, the property line. That's the way the building sits, but what we're gonna do is just shrink it. So it's not on the property.
You're just gonna move the back wall.
Right, we're not gonna move the whole building, we're just taking out a piece instead.
Existing footprint less, except within the
Yeah.
existing footprint.
Yeah, within, right.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, then. I guess it goes to site plans, all
That's the,
those pictures.
Yeah, we might as well look at the also
Yeah.
site plan too.
for those things, variance application. Okay. Site zone two. Abolish existing one, replace it with a compliant. It's not really compliant though, right?
I think she needs in a building code wise compliant.
Well, the building goes for height, width, and everything else.
It's not compliant. Not with zone.
Well, the letter that we got from you, Marie, saying that we received the DEP reports
Yes.
for, and there were no impacts on the Dudley property here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Did you want to see the DEP checklist?
No, I've seen I guess because, the fact that it says compliant on this thing is not really an issue because you told the story in the actual application for variance. So what it said in there, that's.
So compliant, this is the coastal site plan could be for planning and zoning, it could be for ZBA. So compliant isn't for variance.
Coastal.
It's for coastal and she's
Good
just,
point.
right,
Good point,
so,
thank you.
and she's just speaking for compliance of
Okay.
building compliant,
Okay.
meaning by code, not
Okay.
zoning
Good point.
wise specifically. Yeah, because coastal site plan is not, synonymous with just zoning board of
Okay.
appeals.
All right.
Any other questions by the board? Okay, any public comments from anyone wishing to speak in favor of the application?
Other than the applicant?
Any public comments wishing to speak opposing the application? Is there none? Any further questions by the board? Is there any correspondence received into the record by name and date? concerning the
No,
property?
we did not receive anything for or against.
Are there any final comments from the applicant? Okay, I make a motion to close the public portion of the hearing and to deliberate the application.
Second.
Okay, that passes. Okay, who would like to speak first? Steve, you want to
So
speak?
I look at this as a, pretty clean cut reduction in non-conformity and we should approve.
Yeah, it's a tear down and rebuild
Yeah.
within the same footprint.
Yes.
We'll say within instead of on the exact same.
Yeah.
Which is a reduction of the non-conformity.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I agree. I think it's relatively straightforward. And I think like the height increase was definitely necessary to comply with the in-building codes. So even like even like the extension was necessary, and you made the case there's a hardship there too. But yeah, but with the fact that I'm reducing some non-conformities, I think it makes it even clearer. So I would vote in favor of it.
Okay.
Okay, I make a motion to
No,
close
wait a
the,
minute. I let me suggest that we cover coastal site plan with the same deliberation and we can move through it that fast.
okay, fine.
Okay. My comment on it is it just seemed to be that there's no impact.
Okay,
I agree.
Okay.
all right,
Okay, now you can make your motion.
okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now I make a motion to close the deliberation and request a motion to vote on the variance. Do I have?
Second.
Okay. Who would like, I'll start. I would be in favor of it. Based. Okay. So, okay, I'd make a motion to approve the variance on application 240467 Dudley Lane. I guess I'll have to read the application. Young's Village, map 31, lot 48, zone R2, owner applicant Frank R. Marillo and Deb Hawthorne. Variance requested to section 12.6, expand a non-conforming structure. Application includes coastal site plan on the basis of that they're tearing down an old structure and they're entitled to carry forward to the new structure the old variances because the previous footprint is the same as the footprint of the new structure. And also, there is a reduction of nonconformities in the fact that you're tearing down the shed. All those in favor, or how do you approve?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. All those against, well, we all approved it. Congratulations.
Coastal site plan? Could you vote on the coastal site plan?
And let's vote on the or I make a motion to vote on the coastal site plan. I make a motion to vote yes, approve it.
Can you, on the basis that it's consistent with the goals and
Oh,
policies?
yeah,
Great.
that's right. Okay, on the basis that it is consistent with the coastal site plan application, is consistent with the goals and policies of the Coastal Management Act. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion passed. Again, congratulations.
Terrific. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
So much. Appreciate it.
Okay, I would like to make a motion on application 2405,
Thank you.
31 Parker Avenue. I would like to make a motion to open and to continue the application until May 14th.
Second.
All those in
I
favor?
don't know if it's May 14th, but the main meeting, oh, yeah, it's May 14th, yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? No. Motion passed. Okay, we'll move on with application 2406, 27 Fort Path Road. And who will be making the presentation?
My name is Tim Long, 31 Horseman Road in Madison. We're down here. Hot seat.
Oh, yeah.
Maria. Tim Long, 31 Horseman Road, Madison. Friends with Rich and his the owners.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah,
So
we're ready for you.
you'll see that this property received a variance to build the current house and garage in 1989. The road side is only 75 feet wide and the rear is just under 60 feet wide. The owners are trying to place a generator and propane tanks for the house, and we can't make the side yard setbacks for either the generator or the two propane tanks. So we placed, according to the, I think you have the drawing, we placed the generator at the rear of the house, which would need a 22-foot side yard on the east side setback. We put the propane tanks on the west side of the house, along the driveway. At the rear corner, they're the horizontal tanks, so they're only 2 feet 10 high, and that's 2 tanks. I tried to stay consistent with the original variance that asked for a 26-foot setback on the west. And then the generator, we had to push to the east a little bit, just to get the 10-foot clearance that the propane tanks require from a source of ignition. So we had to spread them out a little bit, and that's why the generator went closer to the side yard and not center of the rear of the house. I think that's the bulk.
Okay, we're going to go through the application. Okay, 6 foot, 30 foot's required 22 feet. From on the east side. Okay. Reorient me, the front of the house faces the side of the yard. Sorry.
Well, yes, the front door, you want to call it the front door because it's gate style? Yes, the front door would face the west, northwest, yes.
I always think of that in front of the house.
Yeah, it is, yeah. We can
So,
go by the front door, yes.
But that spacing for the propane tanks is the reason why you would put propane on the front door as opposed to,
Next to the generator?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't put you need 10 feet away for wherever it's for the tank valves on the propane tank needs to be 10 feet away from the source of ignition, which the
Yeah.
generator becomes.
by the time you did that, the other,
And then,
the
yes.
other end of it would be,
There's a sliding door in the rear, the rear of the house, between the garage and the house, there's a sliding door. So now we need to stay, 5 feet away from the generator, 10 feet away with the propane tanks. There's a lot of code nuances that we were trying to entertain.
Yeah.
And we didn't put the propane tanks, currently there's a 50-gallon propane tank on the east side where there's the smallest setback. But we thought we'd get rid of it, matter of fact, and bring everything as close to center of the lot as we could get.
Are you removing a propane tank?
Yes, yeah, right now, there's currently one on the east side.
On the
The
small,
sliver, yeah, the sliver of the,
just on this side?
yeah, right there, there's a small 50-gallon, it just serves the cooktop. So we're gonna remove that, and then they're gonna pipe the 2 new tanks to the cooktop.
So the one that's on the east side,
Yep,
how close is that to I think you said it's 10.
yeah, so that's a 10-foot setback, so I would say it's about 1.5 feet wide, so you're probably 8.5 feet from
And
the
the
property
new
line.
one is gonna be 20 feet back?
20, so you're gonna be compliant from the east side, but now you're gonna be 26 feet away from the west side setback. Because you're going to the other side of the house.
No, I'm just saying, can you call it a reduction in nonconformities? I think you're improving it on the east.
Yeah, only good, but you guys, the zoning doesn't regulate a single tank. So a single tank can go anywhere.
Oh, I see.
Because it's not regulated. Once you add the second tank,
Now you're.
now it becomes regulated and we have to.
Okay,
And we can't do a single, so just, I don't know if you're aware, 120 gallons of propane will last about a day and a half with a generator running. So most, if not all, propane companies want you to get 2 because they're not coming every day and a half to fill it up. So they,
Especially since there's no power.
yeah, they're refilling everybody up. So that's why we get the 2 propane tanks.
all right. Okay,
okay,
Now, sometimes they bury these propane tanks.
Yeah, I don't know where it's there, he's up on a hill. There's ledge,
Zoning doesn't regulate buried propane tanks, but the health department does, and then you're running into the fact that it has to be away from septic, 10 feet off the property line, so it's, yeah,
it's a whole other,
it's in a whole other ball
they still allow buried tanks?
of propane, yes.
yeah.
Propane.
Yeah.
So, okay, would you want to go over the coastal site plan application?
Did I bring the coastal site plan application up? No.
how far away is this?
We're a mile from the shoreline, we're not sure why we had to do.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you,
But-
why don't?
So
why did-
we have an imaginary line that we draw on a map, and it falls in it, and they're a mile away. To be honest, we didn't.
I have
We didn't even send it
The
to,
drawing said
4,052 feet, why is
4,052.
blue beam, I mean, I put 2 lines,
Yeah.
I just wanted to show.
So there's really no impact, obviously.
But before we
No, no,
approve
just-
it, we want to review
Yeah,
it.
sure.
I don't want to approve it without having gone through it.
No, I agree.
where are we looking? Hold on, right here. This one?
Yeah. Description, side yard variance, fixed 4 feet. And then where think you had your measurements there for the generator. It was less than 60 feet.
Yeah, so again, I'm using their A2 survey off of a line that they have established. I'm coming up with 61 feet at the rear of the house.
So if you're,
You know, so yeah, if I'm not clicking
You
the
got a
right
1
line, I use the 75 foot on the front as my gauge.
Yeah,
okay,
good.
on that 75 feet is at an
The
angle.
7, yeah, it's at an angle, right? And then the lot turn
Yeah,
trapezoidish narrower as we go back.
perpendicular lines would be less.
So we decided
Okay.
coastal line.
So keep going, there's nothing
Yeah,
applicable there.
we send it to the state as a courtesy. We don't necessarily have to. In
All
the
this stuff is
situations
not
that,
applicable.
yeah.
Okay,
they just make their recommendations if, you know, which you guys usually like, but this one wasn't. He hasn't been great about turning them in quickly, so this one's so far away. Adverse impact.
adverse impacts, okay. They said
And
no
here's-
adverse impacts, so, yeah, that's.
And that's the distance, yeah.
Yeah,
It's pretty far.
yeah,
Yeah, that area, they're using 995 as the delineating line. And like straight line, I guess.
Is there any other questions by the board?
Sure. Yeah, so you mentioned in your, like, on application that the hardship is like, the pre-existing non-conforming lot shape, is that correct?
Well, the hardship is, yeah, the size of the lot doesn't lend itself to, we're just 60 feet wide or less and makes it
So it's unusually,
impossible to get a 30-foot setback.
so it's unusually small for the district? Okay.
It was actually rezoned, so when they. Even though they needed a variance the first time they did, the zone changed, the setbacks changed. Setbacks were different at the time in 1989, but they still needed a variance to do what they wanted to, mostly for, for coverage
I think it
and for
might-
setbacks.
maybe 9
Yeah.
foot.
And so it got worse, actually.
All right, no further questions.
Any other comments? Okay.
not from the board.
Are there any public comments from anybody wishing to speak in favor of the application?
There is one
Hold your
person,
hands up, so.
nobody's raising a hand.
Nobody online. Any public comments from anyone wishing to speak opposing to the application? None online. Further questions by the board? Is there any correspondence to be introduced into the record?
No one submitted any letters
Okay.
for or against.
Any final comments from the applicant?
No, sir.
Okay. Would like it to make a motion to close the public portion of the hearing to deliberate the application.
Second,
Okay, who would like to,
all in favor?
who would like to talk first? We have to deliberate.
Yeah, no, you made a motion and a second.
Yeah.
Now, all in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
okay, sorry.
All right.
Okay, who would like to speak?
I'll
First,
speak.
either in favor or.
This is a hardship type thing. There's no other place to put this thing. They don't have a good spot to put it where it's accessible to the house. They don't have, the ability to put it through, not able to put it close to the generator. And nor can it block the doors. So they're kind of stuck. So it's a variance that it's the nature of, that's what happens when the lots are smaller than what the variance is basically built around. Minimum size and so on.
Yeah, I concur. It's an unusual hardship due to the difficulty of the narrow lot with non-conformities of a pre-existing non-conforming lot. So I agree with Dennis. So,
I think they should put 30 and 30. Put it on a pole.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the elevation now is slant line, there's distance, yeah. So,
I have to agree, and I think that shape and size of the lot creates a hardship in this case, because you can't really put like you know, propane tanks on anywhere else. It's really difficult to especially all that health code and everything like that. So I think in this case, there's a hardship. I would vote in favor of the application.
Okay. I make a motion to,
Before you do, can we
Yeah.
discuss the coastal site plans and we don't have to?
yeah, we can discuss this. Yes, if you'd like to. Sure.
Yeah, it was a pro forma type inspection. They're far enough away that it doesn't, it's not really going to impact anything. And they did indicate, you know, there's no impact there, so I don't see an issue with the coastal site plan application.
Anybody else would like to make a comment on the coastal site plan? I'm current. I'm also with Dennis on that. Dylan, are you?
Yes, I
okay
agree.
with that? All right. I would like to make a motion to either grant or grant with conditions or deny the variance and state the reasons for the record. Who would like to,
I'll make a motion.
who would like to make the motion?
Give me the add-on.
Yeah, sure.
So I make a motion that we approve variance application 2406 for 27 Fort Path Road, where they request the variance to section 36D to allow 26 foot west where 30 foot is required for propane tanks, section 36D to allow 22 foot east where 30 foot is required for a generator, given that the generator and the tanks must be separated by code. And I nominate, my motion is contingent that on all construction being in compliance to the plan submitted and upon acceptance of conditions approved from planning and zoning.
All those in favor?
Need a second?
Second.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, we have a second, right?
Any discussion?
Any discussion?
I think we already
My
had.
discussions we vote yes.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, motion passed.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
Coastal, vote on the coastal
And the
site plan.
coastal site plan, do I have a motion
Yeah.
on the coastal site
I'd
plan?
like to move, we approve the coastal site plan review for 27 Fort Path Road, given that the indicates there's no impact. And, you know, all of the,
Consistent with the goals and policies.
all of the application is consistent with the goals and policies of the Coastal Management Act.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? None. Motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything else we have to bring up?
Nope, just a minute.
Okay. Do we have a copy of the minutes or?
No, they're always linked into the,
Okay,
you can do them or you can push them, your choice if you want to table them. Or you want to approve them.
No.
Did anybody read them?
I didn't read them, so.
I did not.
Dylan wasn't, I
Is it
don't think
okay
he
if I
was seated. so he
make a
can't-
motion
He
if-
can't vote on them, right? Because you weren't seated.
Well, I was present. I'm not sure if that.
You left early.
I think because he was present.
You can?
All right, can I make a motion
Sure.
to approve
Yeah.
the minutes of the last meeting?
Yeah.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? No, motion passed.
No discussion? Anybody have discussion? No discussions? Good?
Off the record?
No discuss- Yeah, okay. No discussion. Make a motion. Anybody want a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting of April 9th, zoning board of appeals.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? No. Motion